Welcome, my name is Big Lou and I'm the self-proclaimed happy rapper. I'm the show host for Go Produce and I'm super excited to have you here. Our focus at Go Produce is to help independent artists turn their passion into profit, regardless if they want to remain independent or if they want to get signed by an indie label or a major label. We want to help you get paid, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I've already interviewed over 40 music industry professionals and they have told me all of their secrets, all of their stories, and I'm using this information to turn my passions into profit, and I want to help you do the same. This is part 2 of a 4-part series that we're calling Start Your Indie Artist Career 2022. I said it right this time. I didn't say it right last time. Make sure to check part 1 of the series. This is part 2. Before you register or distribute anything, I want you to sit with your goal. Remember, you just finished writing a song. You've got a final piece of work. We're in the process of figuring out what we're going to be doing with our marketing. So this is still a lot of creative talk. But before you register or distribute anything, I want to ask you, what are your goals for this specific song? What is the purpose of this specific song? Because without setting those goals and making sure that they're measurable, we won't be able to know if this song, releasing it, was a success. I want to keep this in mind. You're only going to want to do this if you're trying to make a career in the industry. You know, if this is just a hobby, you may as well just turn the video off now, unless you really like me. That's cool. But this is like serious. You want to try and turn your passion into a profit. You want to make a living off of this. You have to make the most of each one of your projects in order to do this, most effectively at least. A lot of us artists and composers have a plethora of options when it comes to publishers. And I am no expert in terms of publishers and PROs and whatnot. PROs means performance rights organizations, and what they do is they help you collect all of your royalties from across the world based off of wherever your music is being played. That can happen in terms of actual streaming, that can happen in music placements, ads, video games, any kind of licensing, anytime your music plays in restaurants or at the clubs. This is all getting picked up by your PRO, Performance Rights Organization. In Canada, we've got a couple. The main one that I'm familiar with is called SOCAN, and if you're in the States, you're probably gonna run into BMI or ASCAP. I would recommend typing in PROs in your region and then checking out a little bit more of the details. But as soon as you have your first song fully ready to go, get onto your PRO, register for your PRO. It's gonna take a couple of days for you to get into the system, for you to be approved into the system, and then you're gonna wanna register your song onto this. Do this before you distribute your music anywhere at all, because if your music is distributed and it is being played and it is not registered in your PRO, you will not get paid. That's on you. You've learned. I would recommend starting this process with your PRO approximately 2 months before you want to release your first single. If you've already released music and you haven't done this, you should probably do this first before you do anything else, before you even go to bed tonight. But I would recommend starting this approximately 2 months before you release your first piece of music so that you can actually get it out. And there's other reasons. It doesn't take 2 months for it to be registered onto your PRO, but there are other reasons you're gonna want this 2-month window before you go further. Now that you're registered for SOCAN and you've got your first piece of work uploaded to SOCAN, you can now find your IPI number. This is a very random assortment of letters. However, it's a very important number because it is almost your bank account in the music industry. This is where or how your PRO will be paying you. I think there's an IPI number for SOCAN and an AC number for other PROs. I'm not 100% certain, but make sure that you have this number, because without this number, you won't be able to collect any of your royalties. You're gonna need this number in the future as well. Keep that number handy. If you want to learn a little bit more about the IPI number and sync licensing as a whole, I would really recommend checking out Craig Dodge. He's a guest that we had on in season 4. He talks all about sync licensing. He is out east in Canada and he is a tremendous wealth of knowledge. I would definitely recommend checking him out if you are at all interested in doing sync licensing. Okay, so we've figured out our PRO, at least remotely. You've got a basic understanding. Definitely look into a little bit more. If you have any questions on that, feel free to shoot me a message in the comments or on the Facebook group, Go Produce. I am still learning a little bit more and I would love to help you figure out what your issue is. But assume that is sorted out. We're now moving into our distribution. Without distribution, we can't share the music anywhere. Sure, you can share the music on your own TikTok, your own social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, whatever that may be. But if you're trying to get on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, and any of the other platforms that share music like that, you're gonna at least want to look into a distributor. There are several distributors out there: DistroKid, CD Baby, Muse. There are a whole bunch of different ones that are popping up as well that really give you different kinds of options and different amounts of control for the artist. I personally went with DistroKid for now. If you want to learn a little bit more, feel free to shoot me a message and I can tell you why I went more in depth with the DistroKid selection. As mentioned earlier, I did say that you can upload your music separately onto your social media platforms, which is brilliant. Assuming you've got your distribution set up, that'll take care of a whole bunch of different places where your music's going to be appearing, but it's not going to take care of YouTube. So you're going to have to make sure to upload it there separately and make sure to monitor that account. At least so far, I haven't been able to find a place where all of that information is pulled together. If you are familiar with something like that, please let me know. I would love to utilize it for myself and to share that with everyone else. But you're going to want to upload everything separately to YouTube. So now that you have your music on YouTube, I'm assuming you also want your music on Spotify. You went through the whole process of getting on a distributor. This is going to put your music on Spotify. That's great. But Spotify gets 60,000 new songs uploaded every single day. So how are you going to set yourself different from this whole mess of songs? Through marketing, through distinguishing yourself as an artist by building your brand ahead of time. You know, you want to make sure that everything is set up. Remember I said you need to be registered with your PRO 2 months in advance? Well, now that you're registered, now that your song is distributed, let's say we're about 6 weeks out, you're going to want to sign up for Spotify for Artists, because this will help you get landed on different kinds of playlists. If you don't do this at least a week in advance, your chances are gone. But because this is the first time you're uploading anything, you want to give yourself an even bigger window. So 6 weeks. The reason you're going to want to do this is because you need to claim your artist profile, and without your URI code, which takes about a week to be processed, it took 10 days for me. Without that, you can't do anything on Spotify. You can't create your artist profile, you can't build out your biography, so make sure that you do this with enough time in advance. With your music now ready to be distributed, it's not over. The creative process is not over. We get to do some more marketing. This is the topic of our 3rd episode of the 4-part series of the Start Your Artist Indie.
Bruh.
This is the 3rd episode of the 4-part series of the Start Your Indie Artist Career 2022. My artists, I see a world where we can all, even our communities, can profit off of our passions. This does not have to exist just in our heads. We can make this our reality. Before we make this our reality, we have to make sure to register our music. We have to make sure our music is distributed, and we have to make sure to market our music. So please let me know in the comments, is this something that you've already done? Is this something that you're struggling with? Because I would love to make sure that you are at the point where we can start sharing music with the rest of the world. Let's turn our passions into profit. My name is Big Lou. We out. Ooh.